Director of Brand Marketing for Hasbro Interactive, Ben Montano!
How's everybody doing? Everyone having a good night so far? We'll hit the Transformers ride. Awesome. So we're having a lot of fun here. I want to welcome you all to the first ever Transformers fan experience in partnership with Universal Studios Hollywood. I want to also thank all the individuals and teams that put this on. The Universal Studios team has been awesome, so a round of applause for those guys. So after this, we're going to have a lot of fun for 7 more hours in the park. I do want to say you have a special panel here that we're inviting you to. We have a lot of special guests that are going to share a lot of great things with you and really celebrate this band's brand. So, we're going to welcome them up to the stage now. First, I'm going to welcome up from the marketing team of Transformers, Mark Webber. A lot of you guys know this next group, here. First, I'm going to introduce up from the design team of Transformers, Lenny Panzica. Another beloved Transformers designer. Next up, Bill Rawley. Oh, sorry, Bill Walker. Sorry, buddy. Bill Walker. He'll hate me later for that. Next up, another beloved designer, John Warden. Come on, John. We're a little top heavy with designers, so we want to make sure we round it out with someone I know you guys are going to love. So we introduce the fan favorite, John Barber here from IDW. So we're having a lot of fun here, share a lot with you guys, but before we get into the action, I'm going to hand the mic over to my friend Mark Webber, who's going to talk a little bit about the Transformers Hall of Fame.
Everybody's always excited about the Transformers Hall of Fame, where we induct every year 2 robots from the Pantheon and also 1 human who's really dedicated a lot to the Transformers lore and the Transformers movement that we see so strongly here tonight. We actually reached out to some of our strongest websites in the fan community to help us cull from the thousands of characters down to 5 nominees for the Transformers Hall of Fame, which we posted up on our Facebook site, which has over 1 million likes. Thank you very much. So there's at least 1 million Transformers fans on Facebook, and many of them made their voice heard and let us know which of the 5 distinguished nominees were most worthy of joining the Transformers Hall of Fame. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the first inductee to the Transformers Hall of Fame class of 2014. I'm sure you know her very well. Everybody likes RC, dating back to the original movie where we first got to meet her. Of course, the fembots or female Autobots are getting a lot of pub right now, a lot of good run, and the Windblade comic over from IDW, and just there's a real groundswell of what's going on with female characters in our brand, female fans of our brand, and RC going into the Hall of Fame this year is really symbolic, and it makes a lot of sense. And for our fans of the Generations line, we're excited about an RC figure they're finally going to get. Please come by the brand panel tomorrow morning. Hasbro's going to give you a special look at an upcoming figure that I think you'll all appreciate. So, again, credit to RC, and thanks to the fans for voting her into the Transformers Hall of Fame. Like I said, 2 robots get in every year, and so there's always 2. RC goes in, and another character who you met in the movie back in 1986, a guy who's known by many names, including... You may know him as Rodimus, you may know him as Rodimus Major, you may know him as Hot Rod, you may know him as Rodimus Prime, you may know him as the guy who got Optimus killed. But regardless, a bit of a polarizing character, but always a big force in every bit of the mythos moving forward. A guy getting serious run with IDW right now, and a guy most people love, some people hate, but everybody cares about. We're very, very pleased to welcome Rodimus, and thank you for backing Rodimus. The only disappointment at all with that is that Rodimus and RC could not be here tonight to accept their trophies, but we are always happy to have a human inductee to the Transformers Hall of Fame. And while we move on to that portion of it, I'd like to introduce my friend, Bill Paukert.
So I'm gonna stand for this one. This is a special one. So for our human this year, one of the things that we as designers really take to heart are the visuals of Transformers, but another key thing for us is the audio, the things you hear when you see Transformers, the music that you hear. And when I think about music and Transformers, there's only one person to induct this year, and that man is Stan Bush! Transformers Hall of Fame. Stan, your award, a few words.
Holy smokes. I had no idea. Thank you so much. It's awesome. You guys are awesome. Man, you're the best. You got the touch. Thank you so much. You gotta come to the concert, right? Over here. Blues Brothers stage at 10, so thank you again. Awesome.
Awesome. As he makes his way over to the stage to rehearse, I feel like the show could end with that, but we won't let it. So we're really excited to share with you this special presentation again to celebrate the last 30s of the brand. So I'm going to let my friend John talk a little bit to that.
Yeah, so let's take a trip back to 1985. Megatron's favorite song, "Everybody Wants to Rule the World," was on the radio. One of our all favorite movies, Back to the Future, was in the movie theater. And our favorite toy, Grimlock, made its toy premiere. Now Grimlock he wasn't all that smart of an Autobot, but he sure was tough. He valued power and strength. A lot of these things are Decepticon traits, but not our man. No, he was special. He was cool. He may have talked like a caveman. That's all right. So we're excited not just to celebrate what he was, but also to take a trip and see really exactly what's cool about this guy and how he's changed and how he's made his way onto the silver screen and how exciting that is. So we're going to take you on a trip right now. So as you remember, the Autobots, Ratchet specifically, they made these guys. That's pretty cool, right? They made them, and they made them out of ancient dinosaur fossils, and you know, the rest is history. So let's have a look.
And now, fellow Autobots, and especially Optimus Prime, it gives me great pleasure to present. Will you get to the point? Autobots meet Dinobots. Look at the size of those things. Great Cybertron. Holy Ultradyne. Allow me to introduce Grimlock, Slag, and Sludge. Dinobots, huh? I thought you were supposed to make dinosaurs. Dinobots, transform. Interesting. But what else can I do? Dinobots, clear this row. And be quick about it.
that the Dinobots have destroyed everything, we're going to take a run through with the roll call. So of course, without saying, everybody knows Grimlock. Let's have a round of applause for Grimlock.
Why you think Grimlock's stupid? Me not stupid. Grimlock's smartest Dinobot of all.
Unfortunately, that's probably true. I just wish all the Dinobots had more sophisticated brains.
Brains? Grimlock know how to bash brains. Maybe bash yours.
Give another round of applause for Grimlock. And Sludge. Of course, Sludge. Oh, this slide's going crazy. Sorry, guys. And Slag, Swoop, and Snarl.
I'm straight from the sun.
The Dinobots destroyed Teletran. What do you expect?
Good place for Dinobot tests. You, Grimlock leader. First, target practice. Hit big rocks. Me, Grimlock, say run and shoot it. But getting better. Now, harder tests. Dinobots, transform! Swoop! Do flying stuff! Slag! Do fire stuff! Snarl, do tail stuff. Getting better, but still not more better enough.
So these Dinobots, they had lots of cool textures. Bill, like, we worked on a lot of these guys together, so.
Yeah, I think one of the things when we think about the Dinobots, we enjoy having those toys in our hands as we're starting to think about what the next iteration of Dinobots is all about. And one of the things that we look at is we look at some of the abilities that those G1 Dinobots had, and how can we think about those abilities and work those into the new designs of the new Dinobots. So I think about Slag, for example. You know, got super, super tough, powerful, fast Dinobot. We want to make sure that we carry that into what we see in the design too. So I think as you look at the two different iterations of the Dinobots, think about what those Dinobots can do and the powers they embody.
They also brought a really great texture and new materials to the brand. So like great patterns, great clear parts, something that we hadn't really seen before in Transformers, and we wanted to take that again into the next iteration as well.
Don't forget gratuitous use of metal.
Alright guys, you've had a lot of awesome things to share so far. So Mark, if you can start, share what was your favorite Dinobot and why?
I think almost everybody would say Grimlock if they were given, you know, true share. But while everyone likes Grimlock, I always really liked Snarl. I didn't think Snarl ever got quite as much screen time as he deserved, and there was something about a little vac metal gold shoulder armor with spikes on it that made it look like it should have been the third road board. And I always thought that was pretty cool to have Hawk Animal and Snarl running down. So I would have to say Snarl.
I would have to say I took the truth serum, and I love Grimlock because he's big, he's bad, he's mean, but deep down inside he's got a heart of gold. Plus, what's better than a Transformer that can turn into a T-Rex? He can breathe fire, and he's got an awesome sword. So Grimlock is mine.
I'm gonna go. I mean, the Dinobot that I just mentioned earlier, it's Slag for me. I mean, you look at that clip. I mean, he single-handedly puts Optimus in his place with one blast, knocks him into the back wall. He breathes fire and he shoots frickin' lasers out of his triple horns.
For me, it's easy, it's sludge, because as a nerdy little kid, I just like brachiosaurs. I think it's just that simple.
Yeah, I gotta go with Slag too. He was the one Dinobot I had as a kid, and in the comics I was really excited to be able to make him the leader of the Dinobots. He's just a great character.
Awesome, cool. So let's go on to the next chapter of the Dinobot saga, celebrating 30 years of the brand.
Transformers Animated. I gotta say, this was a great time for Transformers. I just joined the brand, and there were like some great designers like Eric Siebeneller and Aaron Archer. It's a really good product, and I learned a lot from those guys. And unfortunately, I didn't get to work on these products, but I got to see some really great designs in them.
Sorry, go ahead.
I get the point.
This isn't the Oscars, sorry.
But what's great is I think Animated did a really good take on the Dinobots, and it took them into a great design aesthetic, and it still kept the things about them that we all think are awesome, but then it played them up in a new way that was fun and still very exciting and full of rocks in your brains fun with the Dinobots.
Can I roll for them?
Yeah, good.
Cars and trucks bad. Nature good. Stupid nature. Come back and fight like Dinobots.
There was something about them where these characters, they were more than just what they were in the past. We really played into the fire. We played into the new Dinobot form. We played into the modern dinosaur form factor, more faster looking, more aggressive.
And for those who always wondered how Snarl became a Triceratops, this is actually when we started running into a bit of a trouble with the name Slag, which if you've never visited the United Kingdom, means something totally different over there. So this is where we started to use that name a little bit less.
So I mentioned it earlier, the toys, you know, we really played up into the fire aspect of them. They're sleek, we played the different form factors. And you can see it here, like each character had like a club, a fire club. Swoop had the mace with the lava inside of it. And of course Grimlock, we really went deep in there and we gave him the sword that emits fire. So it was a really great interpretation of where the characters are, and we took it even further.
All right, guys, another round of questions. So what were you working on back in 2008 when Animated released? I think, Lynn, we got a peek at what you were doing, but Mark, if you can start up.
I was working at a much smaller toy company and waiting for my call up to the big leagues.
I had a peek into what was going on in Transformers, but I think at the time I was working on Spider-Man Animated.
I was working on a line of animatronic dinosaurs.
I was working on a little brand called G.I. Joe.
I was editing Wolverine comics.
Awesome. So the next chapter, one more, sure.
This is about the time that I came out to Transformers, when I came into the comics, one of the first questions people asked me was, where are the Dinobots? When are the Dinobots coming back? And I was super excited. And I think when we all saw the trailer for Fall of Cybertron, I mean, I think that just, got everybody going. I mean, they kind of been dormant for a couple years, and it was just amazing to see them come back in this new version. One of the things was, there were a couple things I thought were really exciting about the Fall of Cybertron version of the characters. One is that the way it delved back into the origins of the Dinobots and kind of brought in some of the elements that were in the Marvel comics, which gave it a completely different origin than it was in the cartoon, where Shockwave was more involved. And in a lot of ways kind of brought the two together. Instead of the Autobots building the Dinobots, Shockwave made ordinary Autobots into the Dinobots. The end.
Dinobots and put them into the game, and they are kind of an oddball in the Transformers fiction, and so we really had to come up with a unique story that made sense to bring these characters to life. Not only were they, frankly, my personal favorite and a lot of fans' favorites, Gridlock's a huge character, they have some great gameplay that we can make around being this big giant T-Rex. When we came to Hasbro to pitch what we really wanted to do with this game, they were in the process of creating the Bible of all things Transformers, all the lore, kind of creating this huge binder of everything that fit in the universe going forward. Dinobots didn't really have a place. They were trying to figure out where they were going with them. With that, we gave this super impassioned speech about how important the Dinobots were for us, that we desperately need them, and Hasbro gave us the green light. There have been a couple creation stories for the Dinobots in comics and G1, and even some other kind of fan fiction stuff. All were kind of interesting, but none of those really worked for the story we were trying to tell. Before they were ever Dinobots, the Gridlock and crew existed as a team on Cybertron. Super powerful, battle-hardened warriors. They weren't dinosaurs, they had different shapes. What happens to them? They get captured by maybe the worst guy to get captured by, Shockwave. He is the mad scientist of the Decepticons. What Shockwave has found is a way to open up space bridges. We can go to other worlds. He opens up this technology and is searching through the cosmos to find another planet that has life on it. In the course of his investigations, he finds primordial Earth, Earth 65, 70 million years ago. And as he's investigating, he sees these interesting life forms, dinosaurs.
The log has it labeled as sludge. Must have been Shockwave's design for him.
Guess we all have new forms.
He turns them into these shapes. He sacrifices some of their mental processing power to give them more physical raw power. It helps to control them and gives them these new powerful combat forms. Sort of backfires in the sense that it's successful transformation. They are given these new shapes that are super powerful, but nobody controls Grimlock.
Exciting to get the original team back together too. This is where you had Grimlock, you had Slug now, and then Snarl, Swoop, and Sludge. You know, to get them all back in, they were all together again. That was a really exciting time for the Dinobots.
So we've got Grimlock.
We were talking about concept art, right? So when the concept art started coming in, that was.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Am I wrong? I'm sorry. Yeah. So Sludge, Slag, whatever. The dinosaur one. It's so confusing.
You know, the dinosaur guys transform into big robots.
That's right, yeah. Yes, of course. He's at least the easiest one to tell apart, right? And Snarl. I think this iteration of him really became influential beyond what we were doing in the comics, and I think it's, I think it's something you're seeing kind of continuing on in other, well, let's say other media.
I think one of the coolest things about these designs, though, is that it gave us that leverage to take the G1 and kind of start to propel it into a new place. But we kept those cool, the aspects of the characters similar. So I think you still keep the heart of it there, but you're continuing to evolve that design. And I think that when you look forward towards the movie that's going to be coming out real soon, we're all excited about, I think that you see that next evolution, and, you know, we all know dinosaurs evolve, so.
So, I mean, it goes without saying, when we saw these designs, we knew that they were just right. And we were so excited, we got the concept art, and we're like, this is gonna work out. This is what the Dinobots are supposed to look like. And working with High Moon, we had such a great relationship with them. We shared so much information back and forth, working on how they need to look, how they need to feel. And working with them, we were able to kind of play into the powers that they have. So this is a design that was done where we wanted to play up the fact that Grimlock breathed fire in the game. You can't really put fire in a toy. So we wanted to play up his energon fire. So how could we do that? So the idea was we can put the red LED in his mouth, and then when you pull on it, it looks like he's charging up. And actually, it's light piped in such a way where it looks like his, I guess, lack of a better word, diodes are starting to glow. And I think we nailed it pretty close to the game reference. It was I actually got the privilege of working on this item, and it was an honor to work on it. I think the final project came out pretty sweet.
I think you answered that one pretty well. You jumped ahead. I couldn't jump away. I wanted to keep the art going.
I got excited. It happens.
No problem. It's good, man. All right, so, of course, John, you hinted at the next chapter, Age of Extinction, from the theaters next Friday. We're really excited about that. And you guys want to touch on a little bit, before we do.
This is the greatest advance in modern physics since the splitting of the atom.
A rare metal, molecularly unstable.
It's what they're made of.
Bring it up! All the way!
You guys have never seen a truck like this before?
Dad, you can't keep spending money on junk.
I don't think it's a truck at all. I think we just found a transformer.
I'm gonna ask you this once. Where is Optimus
Gotta have faith, right? Maybe not in who we are. Who we can be.
I'm not leaving my dad.
We need a new army.
So Bill and I will talk briefly about some of the things here that we started off this journey with into Transformers 4. We knew these guys had to have the energy, like I was saying, the original G1 guys. Then we propelled the next dimension. They had to be sharp. They had to have that on-screen energy that we knew that was going to be, it's going to blow audiences away. And we also knew that it's important to kind of keep these guys just really primal almost.
I was just going to say the number one thing was visceral. That was the word we used every day. Visceral. They are aggressive.
Even in the very early reads of the script, there weren't a lot of descriptions of what the Dinobots looked like, because there really weren't a lot of visuals yet. But the one thing that it did say, it called them out as barbaric knights. And we took that to heart because when you look at these guys, we thought about different suits of armor, and even in the head designs, if you think about the way a knight's head of armor looks and the way they would be looking out of that suit of armor, we worked that directly into the designs, and what we started getting back from the studios in terms of concept art were very raw, barbaric looking robot forms.
It's interesting, if you look at the cast of Dinobots, the toys that we did, you can start to see that each one of them kind of owns a job on the team. So it's like Grimlock he's the leader, so he does jack of all trades, but each one of them kind of has a weapon. The guy that flies he's got 2 heads now, which is crazy. 2 heads are better than 1, and he's able to whip people. He's got bladed wings. Sludge he's got armor all over his body, or Slog, actually, excuse me. And he's sort of like he's a mobile tank, so he's the brawn, and he gets to beat some of the other ones.
No, I mean, that's the same team that we think about. If you were to assemble the perfect team, whether it's a group of ninjas or whatever, you want someone that's got a different discipline for every type of battling you could possibly think of. When you see Optimus riding the T-Rex, he can run fast, he's a biped. You can have Optimus on his back riding him, he can breathe fire, he can whip stuff with his tail. He's sort of the all-rounder, and as John was starting to describe, the other guys start to break down into having sort of specialties in battle.
Yeah, and that even plays into what we were thinking about in their special abilities. We want them to be more than your typical Transformer or Cybertronian. They are weapons. Everything about them is dangerous. So you can actually see here, we were early thinking that Grimlock had this ability to, as he ate Decepticons, would start getting more weapons. So again, it was playing into their ability. Actually, that came from thinking about how dinosaurs through the years, when we learned about them as kids, they evolved. So that's where that idea was actually pulled from. So you can kind of see in all the other designs too that we wanted to play up these very powerful mechanized attack features that were at the same time felt very primal.
Cool. So starting off, we got Grimlock. He's the fearless leader. We know him, we love him. We've been hanging out with him since 1985. He's our buddy. Slug, like I was saying, he's a walking tank. Incredible. Slug
to me is I think I mentioned before, he's like a charging bull. And when you look at even the toy product, those swords that you can plug into the sides of, that was intended to picture him doing a charging attack. Not only can he take stuff out with his horns, he's going to take anything out that's flanking him on either side with those swords.
Yeah, all these guys are fast too. I think that's a big thing that we haven't touched on. Is like in the movie, it's like everything about these Transformers films is fast. There's lots of energy. And you guys rode the Transformers the ride, I'm sure, right? And what a, I mean, amazing experience. But it's fast, comes at you fast. These dinosaurs are coming at you fast, and I think that's important too. So, you know, Strafe and Snarl, these guys they're intense.
Snarl to me is he's a suit of armor. All those plates on his back, those spines.
Bladed armor.
Yeah, bladed sharp armor. You take them off and they become weapons for him. So it's using things that are inherently there in the dinosaur's design and just making sense out of them. On Strafe it makes sense. He flies, he's gonna have the weapon that flies, so he gets the crossbow. It's just making those connections that are logical.
So why stop at 5 Dinobots? You can figure Dinobots are awesome, keep them coming. So Scorn has turned out to be a big fan favorite. We thank you all for getting so excited about this guy, because we are too. He's awesome.
Awesome to work on a new character, and again, a different form factor. He's got that big sail on his back. Being able to work that into his design is just awesome.
And then what's cooler than a Velociraptor? I mean, that's amazing. So we knew we had to put a Velociraptor in there somewhere. These moments come alive on screen. I think you guys are starting to see it already.
So you take a look at what we've done with the toys, and something we've done and tried to be very clear about this year is focusing on different segments of our fan base, not only our young collector, but our dedicated collector. You can see Dinobots play a strong theme across both segments. You can see them up here, and you've seen them, I'm sure, in our booth, and see them in retail. So there's something we think that's there for every collector, because whether you're a young kid or in college or an all grown-up Autobot fan like myself, everybody likes Dinobots. So we're very clear to make them available across all the different price points.
And you guys might have seen this guy in the booths. This is Stomp and Chomp Grimlock. He's giant, he's amazing, he's got this really cool chomping feature, and you're able to put different figures on his back, and you change his lights and sounds, and the big guy, and it's really fun to play with. And I mean, it's a giant robot dinosaur. I think that's what sums it up.
I have them sitting on my desk threatening artists when they're late with pages, so we're trying to keep everything online, on time with Stomp and Chomp Grimlock.
So I know we're running pretty close to it here. The favorite movie item we worked on, I really like the movie stuff, but I know G1's close to everybody's heart. I'm sure you probably saw what we're going to have at San Diego Comic-Con in a couple weeks. Cool new movie Dinobots, great G1 deco. Put them together and get Matthew Reinhardt to make a box that opens up into the Ark, crashed into Mount Hillary. Very cool item. And on display at the Hasbro toy booth, so make sure to come by and take a couple pictures. Just don't put your nose on the glass. I cleaned up a lot of nose parts today. That's kind of rough.
I have to say, Dinofire Grimlock for the Constructibot line. I think that the item he's a giant version of Grimlock, and he's just a great item because he brings so much more customization to the Constructibots line.
For me, it's definitely the deluxe Dinobots, not only to do the movie versions of them, but to do the item that Mark mentioned, be able to dive back into those guys and assign G1 colors to them, a G1 deco scheme. It was the coolest thing in the world to invent the color palette that they currently have, and then take the inspiration of what we know as a classic and give it new life.
For me, it's definitely a tie between Sludge, which is a great realization of my nerdy childhood favorite Transformer, giving him weapons, making him a cool revised version of that thing I loved as a kid, but also Stomp and Chomp Grimlock, which is able to really capture the energy and size of that big Transformer that I think is captured everybody's heart right now. It's awesome.
For me, it's not directly movie related, but we're doing a direct-to-motion comic that I wrote and Olivia Ramondelli drew for Madefire Comics. It heavily involves the dinosaurs, and it wouldn't have come about without the movie, I don't think. So I was really excited to use the Dinobots again that way.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So that wraps up our panel. You guys may have seen some of these. So We are running, it's about 9:45 now. We want to make sure everyone has enough time to get over to see Stan Bush and rock out. So we're going to send you guys out with a few fun little animated videos. So don't step on one another on the way out, but enjoy these. Hang out for a few if you want. Make sure you get over to the concert. We'll see you guys over there. Thank you guys for being awesome fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. We'll get you to the left-hand side of the theater, please. The left-hand side of the theater. You can see the curtains opening up. As a reminder, the park will be open until 11 o'clock this evening. At this point in time, our Transformers, Jurassic Park, and Revenge of the Mummy attractions are all at a walk-up on our lower block, so now is the time to see these attractions. Again, we have an hour left in the evening. As the panel mentioned, we've got the Stan Bush Band playing over the Blues Brothers stage. So lots to see you do in that last hour. Thank you for being with us. Big round of applause one more time for the folks on stage. Enjoy the rest of your night at Universal Studios Hollywood.